Where's the any key? Anyways. Or it just devolves into a series of Simpsons references, which is a constant danger in my life. You might...
Yeah, especially when you get the two of us at least together in a room. Definitely a danger.
I think it was Jesus Christ that said, if three of you come together, then there I am also. But the seasons 2 through 10 of The Simpsons is a little bit more efficient, only requires 2.
Indeed.
So I will say, this is Jeff.
And this is Corey.
Hello, Corey.
Hey, Jeff. This is looking real familiar.
This is very... We have yacked about this in the past. I'm going to yak about it in the present as well. This is Lies of P. A very good Souls-like that is extremely derivative. But that's not necessarily bad, but it is true that it is borrowing a lot from a lot of things.
Yeah, borrowing is good.
This is a recommendation. Also, I've gotten to I feel like the last chapter, but although I technically haven't beaten the final bosses yet, I've been playing it all the last few weeks and I've been quite enjoying it. So this is going to be starting over in basically right after where the demo was. So we've gone through the first zone, entered the NPC zone, your Majula, your Firelink Shrine, what have you. Talked to the folks. Got a fun little schoolboy outfit. Got a harpoon gun installed, and I'm good to go.
Quite adorable. Oh, for those that may not know, the high-level pitch of this is Bloodborne but Pinocchio.
Yep. A even more accurate pitch would be the character names from Bloodborne or from Pinocchio grafted onto a very strange mixture of ideas taken directly from Bloodborne, Sekiro, and Dark Souls. It is a very... My Jiminy, my cricket lamp is talking to me.
Your cricket tutorializer.
My name is Gemini. We'll talk later, when we're safe.
When we're safe.
Oh. Gemini. I see.
It's Jiminy. I like this game a lot. There's a lot... It does a lot of good things. I think one of the pertinent questions, especially that I kind of wanted to know before playing, and that I have a much better concept of now after playing it, is with the pitch that you had described as being a sort of Pinocchio-flavored Bloodborne. The real question was, is this a proper successor, spiritual or otherwise, to Bloodborne? And my answer to that is... My answer to that is no, but it also might be yes for some other people, depending on what part of Bloodborne it is that they wanted to have, extended, so to speak.
I know that for my money, it was a significant portion of it was the gun parrying incorporated into the combat.
That is not the case here, although I can do that.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
There are very few long range options. The ones that are available are usually either consumables, which I basically don't count at all because they, like most in the 15 years that this genre has been iterating on itself, people still continue to have consumables not regenerate on when you die, making them useless. Except for Neo. Team Ninja knows what's up.
Yeah. I was fine. It's like, oh, good. I've got 12 of these fire bombs. Are they useful after I get past the slime boss? No. They're not even useful on the slime boss when you really get down to it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Demon Souls, it's useful in the slime boss, but that's if you've, let's, for example, say, played it a bunch of times and want to quickly get past the slime boss, then you just kind of know what to go for.
Mm-hmm.
The most useful thing with the puppet string here is, of course, stuns, free stuns on basic enemies.
I do see that the enemies definitely have the... I'm at long range. I'm going to shoot you with a pistol. It's not going to deal a lot of damage, but it's going to interrupt your animations.
It's like a little... Yeah, so this is also... we're playing just a day after the first major balance patch. Oh, look, I got a perfect guard. That's nice. So after the first major balance patch, so I actually think that this is actually an even smoother version of the game than the one that I've been playing for the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my minor quibbles have actually been sort of smoothed out. One of the main complaints that I had, I've got a frame part here, which is weighs 10 pounds and has 15% physical reduction. You also might notice that I'm not carrying any other parts, and the reason for that is because even though it doesn't seem like this would be the case, because let's equip something else. Okay, I'm at 30% equip load. You'll notice that there is no extra messages. Mm-hmm. I went through most of the game thinking that, okay, that's just an equip load. It doesn't mean anything. And then once I added on, like, you know, a whole bunch of heavier weapons, I wonder if I can actually get over to a... Well, no, I've got enough. So once it got up to like 60% or 70%, it would say like slightly heavy. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then after that, it's like very heavy. I was like, okay, it's doing that thing from Dark Souls. What was not obvious was that there was a light state, which is what I want to be in. So I'm removing all the parts they don't need and the extra weapons, so that I can get the actual light roll.
Your good roll.
With the extra, the good roll.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of the improvements, was that the stat here for capacity, which is equip load, was greatly buffed so that you get much more equip load per point, because it was at a point where I'd have like 30 or 40 points in capacity just so I could have one heavy weapon and one piece of like light armor.
They probably saw that nobody was putting points in there because it was too heavy of an investment, so to speak.
Yeah, that I was going heavy in it because I wanted to use heavier weapons, and that was the other mistake I made with the original version of the game, because this is a very fast game where you have no hyper armor on anything, and even the most basic enemy does. So, using heavy weapons was a very frustrating experience, especially since to get the equivalent of visceral attacks, you have to land the last hit of a charged R2. So this particular attack, the last thrust of that is the one that would actually cause the stagger.
See.
So it was a very frustrating experience. So the three things kind of stacked on top of each other. You had to spend tons of points in order to even be able to hold anything. All the enemies had egregious amounts of hyper armor for everything. And it just kind of made it just kind of not feel great.
Yeah. And then you have to get the aforementioned full combo going.
Yeah, you get full combo. So it was very frustrating for playing a heavier weapon style. I got a shortcut here in case we need it.
Mm-hmm.
But the patch has addressed those. Very importantly, I can have more weight. Fantastic. The perfect guard timing seems to be about the same, but the elite enemies and a few of the bosses have had their health reduced, which is, thank God. Some of the mini bosses in this game took longer than bosses sometimes with the amount of health. It was like a red invader from Dark Souls 3 level of health.
Oh, that just sounds like bothersome.
And another thing they did add was, well, it won't be too obvious here when I'm doing this sort of lighter weapon, but you can actually break the stance of enemies in the middle of some of their power attacks. There we go. This is the little E. Nope, not enough time. This should do it though. There we go. Donk. Donk. Okay. Recharged a pulse cell.
You had many things on
so
him.
the elites have less health. They're easier. You can stagger them out of some of their attacks instead of staggering them out of none of their attacks. So I was like, okay, feels much better to play a heavy weapon character. For this one, I'm going in for a stabby.
Just your
stabby
usual
like
backstab.
stabby lad. Yeah.
I do know. So I haven't had a chance to play the game myself just yet. So we went through. You and I went through the demo. One thing I didn't particularly care for was the dodge roll, which is one of the things that I know that they addressed between the demo and release.
Correct. You do have more iframes on the roll, so now it's an actual useful ability. So you can parry or try and get guards if you need to. You can well, let me just do it here. You can see the rally system there from Bloodborne, where if you guard and then you attack again, you can recover. And then also with actual iframes on your dodge, you can actually use it to tactically dodge some attacks in bosses. It feels a lot nicer for sure.
Yeah, I can
Another
appreciate
thing they
that.
added from the demo was they put a bonfire equivalent right in front of the first boss, so you didn't have to do that.
Oh, so you don't have to do that long run.
Yeah, it's the extremely trivial yet annoying run back. Even though it was like, if you just run past the enemies, you're just looking at like 15 seconds. But like run backs is another thing that I'm glad is mostly gone from the genre, because this is like, it's so close to Dark Souls in not just genre but like style, that you hold the run button, and if you need to just get to the next place, you just run past the enemies and you're good. It's no big deal. So it's really just, I want to fight the enemies to get some experience, see what they're like, get some cool items, but I never in my life want to do it a second time. So
Indeed.
Hidden Moonstone is our Titanite equivalent for improving weapons. Although I started with the weapon we have currently, which was smart, they also added the other starting weapons to the merchant right at that first boss. So although you can pick your starting stat spread for a little bit, like it's only like 30 minutes into the game when you have access to the other starting weapons. I really like this sort of fate because it's the ability on the handle, which is the LB plus Y, is a auto parry.
Ooh, lovely.
Which is good. I was like, oh, that is very nice, especially at the beginning of the game, because they're called Fury attacks, but I mean the enemy glows red, right? And in any other game, that would be an unblockable. You would have to parry it if it was Neo, or you would have to dodge
it,
or visceral it. In this game, they made the bold choice of only being able to parry it. So your dodge iframes do not work. Do not work on red attacks, which is a choice.
Well, speaking of handles, you want to briefly cover the I guess weapon crafting or construction system twist that they've got here?
Yeah, I really do enjoy the system they have here, which is the handles and the blades can be removed and replaced. So the more of them you get, the more combos you have. The blade and the handle have different stats on them, which are not explained. So hopefully someone can avoid half the game doing 50% of their damage without knowing why. By well, okay. Let's see here. What do you think? We have two weapons here. They're being compared. Let's do like attack abilities. That's scaling, right? Okay, that's like a Dark Souls staple, right? You get the base number and then plus. That makes sense. It's based on motivity, technique, and advance, also known as strength dex and magic. But
no one owns those words. Why do?
It's okay. You can't just use them. But... So there are a few things on here that are pretty obvious. I feel like it's pretty obvious. Like something like charge pulse cells or fable charge is maybe not like just immediately obvious, but fable charge is just your blue meter that you use for special attacks. So it's just like how fast you can get them back. And then charge pulse cells, that's your Estus flask. When you run out, you can use damage to power one up again so that you can kind of extend as long as you're doing enough damage between heals. Mm-hmm. It's really more for exploration. I guess there's a few times on bosses when I did manage to get an extra 1 or 2 in, so that's nice. But there's a thing in the middle top that says attack type. Well, how do you interpret this? What is your UX intuition?
Well, my UX intuition says that the one on the right is a stabbing attack, but it has no slashing component, and the one on the left has a stab and a slash component to it. I.e., I can use a differing attack will get me one of those two effects.
You are correct so far. In fact, this particular weapon, the R1s go back and forth between stab and slice. And then the R2s go back and forth from slice and then stab. So this particular weapon, you can get all stabs or all slices by going back and forth between your R1s and your R2s if you really need a certain type of damage.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would happen if I put this blade on this handle?
Now, one would think, and I have cheated a little bit on my test here.
That's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, one would think that the blade, it's the larger flat blade, and consequently the weight of it would get you pretty much the exact same attacks out of it. So a slashy stabby.
It would be stabby, yes. But it would not be slashy.
Shaku. So
yeah.
Yes.
So
the handle.
This particular one. So the handle determines what attack types because the handle determines your move set, but then the blade determines the raw physical damage numbers, the reach, obviously, the fable art. But also, you have to consider the synergy between the two. So this blade is a multi-purpose blade because it slashes and stabs. If you put a slashing blade on a stabbing handle, it will have like 2 little down arrow chevrons and no further explanation. But what it means is that if you use that attack type with that blade, then you get like a 50% damage cut, and that doesn't show up anywhere. And I was like, oh, thanks, game, for telling me that. Real cool.
Ooh. I mean, I knew about the handles affecting your stances like that. I didn't know about how much it would cut your damage and just kind of let you figure that out.
Knowing that in advance, you can make this a tactical choice because I have in my main playthrough a blade that only does slashing, but I do have it on a stabbing handle or a combo stabbing slashing handle.
Mm-hmm.
And it does you take the hit, right? You can't get as much damage out of it. This is true. But let me see if I can get up this. Don't hit me. Okay.
All right, you're fine.
Thank you, sir. Okay, you get over. I ran out of string. You hate to see it. But I'm intentionally doing it, so it's like, okay, I know why I'm getting less damage on some attacks. It wasn't just because the enemy was resistant to a type, which is still true. That could be true.
Mm-hmm.
But more so that it was literally just cutting the damage. I do it intentionally because having very directional stabs, the range on it makes pokes a lot easier for bosses. So sometimes I need a safe long distance poke. And like I'll just do that. That's fine. It does less damage, but it's safer, and sometimes that's enough. That's enough of a
Okay, so it gets you kind of a halberd thing going on.
Yeah, so I would end up doing pokes, even though it was with a slashing weapon, just to have the extra range. And then as soon as I got the sort of range down, I would switch to R2s in that case, which actually had sweeps and whatnot, so it'd get the more damage bonus. So again, knowing that, you can make a decision. Not knowing that, it just seems like everything is very spongy. It's even more so. And everything was spongy, and they reduced it, but it was even more spongy than it was intended. So that was a little bit of a learning curve there, I suppose.
No plunging attack.
There is a plunging attack. I think maybe I just missed. Here's another design. That once you see it in the level design, you can't really unsee it. The sort of flow of the levels I would describe as like a sawtooth wave. Where, you have like a difficulty that increases, and then drops when you reach the next bonfire. Which means that it's very hard if you're going through and fighting everything, because usually at the very end, before you get a checkpoint, there'll be a mini boss like this guy is, that's much more health, much more moves, a larger move set, and you'll probably, like, now I have no healing. But that design persists throughout the game. But fortunately, these are not fights where you're stuck inside, so you can just kind of run past them. Just like, go away, sir.
Oh,
Nice. And now I can fight in peace.
like, well, he's on the other side of that building now. I guess I'll go away.
What are you gonna do?
Why, hello. I know what you're thinking.
Merchant
but I'm
friend.
not worried. I won't cause any trouble. For your information.
I didn't steal this. Got a few items. A new weapon. It's an elemental weapon.
Ooh, electric coil stick head.
Let's do it. And then let's go see if we can fashion that into a new fanciness here. We'll go back to the Hotel Krot, which is our like I said, like our Majula. It's our Firelink shrine.
A dream.
It's our a dream, yeah. It is where the level up waifu is, which it's exactly the same as it is in the other games.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to ask. It's like, are you being funny with that, or did they?
No. Until you get
Is it
here, you
even
can
the
just
same
level up.
person?
It's entirely possible, Can't say. Could be. Can I? No, I can't do a level up. I think I don't know if I spent it on the others. That's fine. But yes, she will do that for us. Okay. We're gonna go talk to the blacksmith.
I know my way around a weapon. Want me to look
Is it
something?
Geppetto?
No, in fact, we are looking for Geppetto. That's our main goal at the moment. This is Eugenie. Upgrade weapons, yes. We have one hidden moonstone, which we could do to upgrade some of this stuff. We can also alter handles. Can't. That's right, we can't do that yet. Okay. I will say that there is a very consistent trickling of features through the game, but it might be a little too slow.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, we don't have the ability yet to actually change out the weapon handles. Like, you have to get through, like, another boss, and then you'll save someone, will be like, let me help you with that. And then you'll have to do another boss, and then they'll be like, here's another basic, feature. Like, here's a skill tree that you didn't know you had. And then you'll get to another boss and be like, by the way, also, there's this other system that you can, tweak your abilities in.
So kind of the opposite
we won't
of
actually be able to...
your Tears of the Kingdoms, which are like, here's everything in the game, have fun, go nuts.
just go for it. I don't want to do... Maybe I'll just put a hidden stone in here, just get a little bonus. Might as well. Let's go try it on the See if we can get comfortable with the move set. This is an innovation borrowed from other games that I really appreciate, which is just the
Training dummies.
training dummies. So this has a just you do more electric damage. Yeah, okay. Temporarily. So it's basically just, putting resin on your weapon.
Well,
This causes the shock status. See if I use 3, that I can get this rolling jump thing. This guy also has...
to help you with your parry timing. And
it helps you with the parry timing on this one enemy only.
I mean, it's
It
one more
shows
than
you
you
what
usually
a
get.
parry... Yeah, it shows you what a parry looks like if you did it right or not. He'll also do a red attack eventually. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that would be like how that looks, I suppose. This takes 3, but you do roll in, so it's not so bad. Okay.
Well, I can't
Elemental
say
damage is pretty strong. So
I do like
stick.
the moveset on that one more than the what was it called? Oh, the tinnitus. The tinnitus mace.
Tonitrus. I think there's an extra R in the end before the US, like a trus at the end.
I just remember it's not tinnitus.
I'll use my power.
It is not tinnitus. That's right. I can't get anything. Okay. We sell some stuff. Might be able to. I am not going to use. I'm just not going to use consumables. It's just not going to happen. I do want to save this one. This is, I mean, it's a boss soul. You beat the boss, you get a boss soul. It's like, do you want to use it or do you want to maybe turn it in later? And I was like, I've played these games before. You're trying to trick me. I'll just turn it in later.
Mm-hmm.
Please stop showing it in the same menu as all the other junk I want to sell. You're just tempting me. So I'm going to do a level up here. Oh, let's see. We can get 1 level.
Motivity, really?
Motivity. That is strength. Yeah. I'm not spending any points in it right now. I'll do technique, I suppose. Yeah, why not?
And I guess advance is their version
Advance
of
is
magic.
Yeah, so it's just, status damage. So the electric damage on this thing will... it's arcane. To be much more specific to where it's coming from, because it's from Bloodborne, it's arcane.
Well, at least there's only one of them.
Inside the house on Elysian. Okay, let's see if we can't figure out this little mini boss here. Because we did the little run past and hit the checkpoint, it'll at least be easier to learn than having to go through the entire streets again. Also haven't used this weapon too much, so we got okay. It's not as quick with the pokes, and it is heavier. So if I want light, I have to completely take off all of my stuff, which I think is probably better. Okay, what about dodging attacks? Runs in and rolling attacks. This is all basic Dark Souls stuff. Okay. And then charge attack.
Well, Dark Souls stuff.
Yeah, okay, Dark Souls stuff. This will also do electric damage, which is good because puppets are weak to electricity. So wouldn't you know?
Oh. Now, my question is, are they weaker to electricity than they are to fire, or is it equal?
They're weaker to electricity than fire.
Ooh. That was fancy schmancy.
Yeah. Yeah, he died. Nice.
Oh. And you were worried.
I am very happy with the changes in the patch. Now it is true that this is the first area of the game, and after having gone through the rest of the game, I would like to think I have gotten better at the game as I go along. but even so, it was a lot. It just seemed like a lot less of a health pool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go. Got a little increase my HP amulet.
And I do feel that one of the other staples of a good Soulsborne is the idea that it's like no matter how far above physically or skillfully you think you are, even the lowest of enemies can still take you out. So precautions.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely true here. I thought that it was on a it took it to the in Dark Souls 1, the rats have infinite guard break, and this is just because Miyazaki hates you personally. So literally in Dark Souls 1, the rats will stagger lock like anything, even if you're in full heavy armor. Just because it's, I don't know, I think it's because Miyazaki thinks it's funny, much like poison swamps. That is the kind of spirit that was a lot of the little enemies that was kind of coming in. No, he definitely cool.
Well,
that's cool.
There's that danger I was talking about.
Even little enemies, yeah, you gotta watch out. But at least I could hit him and he would stop attacking. Some of the little guys, you'll just be like charging up and they'll just trip on your toe and you're like, well, I guess my attack's done. Guess I don't have a turn. Just to use the fighting game terminology, just do not ever get a turn. Let's see, I think that I missed a little. Yeah, there's a few little items here. I'm just gonna Legion magazine. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Don't mind me. I'm just here for the item. It was not really that great, but that's fine. I just didn't remember what it was. Legion magazine will refill the. In this case, Legion is just the lower left meter for your arm ability. String at the moment.
String in this case.
Yeah. I do have a second arm I can put on there, which is the one you started with, which is just a big punch. But the string causes staggers, so it's much more useful.
So string.
String is the answer, yes. Let's see. Could get to a... I feel like I could get to... There's another mini-boss. You can see him down there. We could go kill a cop. Could also... And then after that, there's also the boss of the area. I wonder if that's enough to get through. Yeah, give it a shot.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
To run past these guys because I want to not be in front of these. Okay. So there is also a jerk right up here that I want to end before coming back and fighting the other ones.
Now, is he the... I'm on the roof. I'm going to throw firebombs at you, sir.
That is correct. Okay. Got a little bit of lore. Vernini's landmark guide. Fantastic. Okay. Ergo fragment. Okay. Ergo is souls. It's souls. You might ask yourself, why isn't it ego? Which is very close to Ergo and also has the same thematic reasoning of, being related to identity, except in a more, in a less awkwardly translated way. But it's what they went with.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking, I guess I go with the Contigo Ergo Sum.
Is that a butterfly?
Which, all right.
This is a crystal lizard.
If you want
from Dark Souls.
I can take point.
Oh.
If you do not hit them if you don't kill them in time,
They
do
disappear.
Yes. If you go to a bonfire, a stargazer, and return, they will come back. As an innovation from Dark Souls 1, a game that's almost 15 years old, you can't just save quit and then have them appear when you reload your character. I'm going to call that an innovation, I guess. Technically, it's slightly different.
Sure.
Yeah,
We'll go with that.
Let's go do some more things directly from Bloodborne. By talking to people through windows in the street.
Oh.
This must be your first time in
First time the disease quarantine
for
zone.
most
Okay.
people. I want
Well, yes, it is my first time.
my baby from me.
It is indeed.
Sure, I'll go
I
looking
feel
for
like
your.
spicy.
I'll look for your mom and dad.
We'll look for you.
Must be with its mother.
I'll go get the music box for you. Sure.
Please
Yeah.
go to Quart City Hall.
Bring me my baby.
Thank
sure.
you so much.
Nod.
Yep.
Sweet Helena's.
Please, before I lose my son.
She said the baby was
Before I
in
lose
City
my sight.
Hall. Should we check it out? Oh, I hope everybody's safe.
You know they're not, Jiminy.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like Jimmy. Have you ever played one of the games this is basically based on? It's never a good. It's never a happy ending.
Yes. I mean,
I am going to run past this guy because I do not want to fight him just yet. What I actually want to do is using the sawtooth idea. I want to come through this whole way backwards rather than forwards. So,
please go in the elevator
don't
now.
mind me. Don't me. Yeah.
No, can't do
nerds.
anything.
So long coppers, which I assume is because they're wiring.
They're made of copper. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll spin the point. Get the resources. Nah, that's fine. Okay, I'll just go back down. Okay. Now that we had the shortcut, all of the traps in the game, they always point one direction, and it's the direction you come from the first time through. So typically, it's a lot easier to go through the level backwards. Let's grab this guy. Get over here. Okay, this guy's actually can block, so good for them. Their gimmick is that they can also, we don't want to fight two guys. Let me kill the dog first. Dog, get over here.
Sit, Ubu, sit.
Good dog. You could break their weapons, though, if you get, like, perfect guards, which is like, that's kind of neat, but, I mean, you can also just backstab them, or, pull them with a puppet string. A little bit more reliable. Let's get a little shortcut to the bottom here. I think we need, maybe we do need to fight that guy to get a key. Oh, no, we can, we can't actually just go that way if we want to. Yeah, let's do the mini boss and then the
Right.
sort of like big mini. There's like a mini boss and then like a big mini boss and then like a boss. I don't know.
Okay.
There's different levels.
So I guess you got a mini boss, a mid boss, and then the boss.
Yeah, I think maybe that's a little bit. So this one I consider a mini boss. What do we got here? We got what is his combos? Much like another modern thing that happens in a lot of these games is that combo strings are just dependent on how far away you are from them. So if you stay in close, they'll continue to follow up for a certain amount. So I'm trying to know like exactly how many he's gonna go with each swing, or at least try and anticipate. So one, so that's a follow up. So let's assume two. One, and then yeah, he did a dash. Trying to get where's the follow-ups? That's what I get for pressing R1 2 times in a row.
I think he just has your moveset, really.
Oh.
Ow.
Yeah. That was too late on the block. Yeah, the parry timing is much stricter than Sekiro. The combo strings are also much more erratic than Sekiro, which is another kind of quibble I have.
Ooh.
Every single enemy has different. Every enemy has taken has listened to the Margit TED Talk of delaying attacks.
Angry grumbling.
Sometimes they'll just like hang in the air for an extra half second. And you're like, what?
That's always unfortunate to hear.
Yeah, I could definitely do without that. I would much prefer a lot more consistency and timings between like moves or weapons, so you can kind of anticipate. Rather than having to learn each enemy individually. That's just what they decided to do, so is what it is. Blanc. Okay, let's try and do this a little bit more aggressively. Oh, hey, they did 3.
Does the 3.
Yeah, that's what I get for assuming that I had observed correctly and that I could safely attack after the second, or the second attack. There's the third one. Okay. Partial stagger. That one I could actually get an extra hit in. Okay.
All right.
That was a double hit.
Double backhanded spin.
One. Okay. I think that one does combo if I'm close enough. What's he doing? What is he doing? 1, 2. You got third? No. That one's a double hit.
Ooh.
It's so annoying. So here's another thing that enemies can do is that their attacks can have infinite startup or infinite whatever that is. So the fact that he ran at me, that it's not that. So I could. He does not do the attack until he's at you. So there's no way to like outspace that attack. Like you just have to get the right.
You have to parry it. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Whoop. Let's double attack. I did a dodge, but it was a red version of the attack. Yes. So you might also notice that red attack, which is the second one that he has shown me, came out extremely fast.
Yeah, it looks like it's a modified version of his shoulder that he does sometimes when he looks like he's doing a backswing.
So yeah, so apparently there is a so this enemy, this mid-boss, has a variation of his combo that comes out faster and is undodgeable. That's a cool combo.
That's a choice.
It is a choice. This is a choice that persists throughout the game. At least you do get more options for dealing with enemies. You get more weapons, you get more, I mean, not really magic spells, but, you know, equivalent things you can do. You can do more things. This is a little too early in the game for that to be the case. So what do I want to do now? I want to do what is the actual way to play a Dark Souls game, which is cheese. Let's go this way, sir.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how far do you actually leash before you decide to turn around. Gotta assume maybe about right here.
No,
you gonna come at me? Gonna come at me any further? No. Okay, he's not. Bonk.
Partial stun. Full stun.
There we go. Okay. Now he's dead.
And crit.
Okay. Got a full combo off.
Yep. Just like a Souls.
High, what is it? Volatility? No. Lethality. High lethality.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the pokes, unfortunately, which is the way I like to play the game, or I like to play Dark Souls games defensively and like poke by doing like pokes. Especially the first time through, I'm not really interested in trying to get Devil May Cry combos off on dudes. I just want to make sure I can understand what the attacks are. But every game since Dark Souls 1 has been pushing me away from that style. From Software has constantly been like, what if the boss had 4 health bars, and what if they had infinite stamina, and what if they regenerated their health on hit, and what if, and it's just like constantly being like, but I want to do.
What if they regenerated their health on block, or even if they regenerated their health on miss? What if they just constantly regenerating health no matter what you do? Yeah, I know they patched her, but I'm still bitter.
Yeah.
I'm still bitter.
I'm gonna be a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna be salty about that until the day I die. So I that's a hill I want to die and then be buried in. But I digress. In this game, all enemies have health regen and also the rally system that you do. So when you hit them, they can gain their health back by hitting you. And if you don't hit them, they will just slowly tick back to full health. Again, that is a choice.
It does not would have done half of that.
Sure.
Pick one. Although, you know,
it doesn't really matter for like these little enemies, but for those mini bosses and also the proper bosses,
it becomes
does
very
apply
important.
To them. So in addition to it being very slow to learn, if you're doing a safe poke style, which I prefer, it takes even longer before, as what just happened with that police bot there, was that as soon as you're like, okay, I have fully charged Fable, I can do a charge attack, partial stagger, full Fable, charge attack, stagger, fatal attack, and then you can just roll them once you get like a really good combo going. But, like it takes a while to get to that point. So we did get a new weapon though, I suppose. Got the little police baton. We can go bonk. This particular flavor is blunt damage, blunt and slashing.
I mean, it's a billy club.
I wasn't even trying to do a backstab. That was on him.
Fell to pieces.
That wasn't my fault. So we got the okay. It's just kind of that's the charge attack. Okay. What do we got on running attacks? Yeah, pretty simple. Kind of a little uppercut. What about rolling attacks? Pretty simple. Rolling attack. Okay, that just goes into the same R2. I'm gonna say on that one. The getting the shock status off will the health regen obviously goes away if you have the shock status on somebody, so that's pretty useful.
Yeah, the cloud does seem to be treating you pretty well.
Indeed. Bonk. Had to pet those dogs. Where did this guy come from? I'm not entirely sure where that guy came from. Okay. Good on him. He passed his stealth check for sure. The other thing that shock does, the shock status, it also greatly reduces your stamina regen, which is very bad. You know, the player obviously doesn't really matter for enemies.
I mean, stamina hindrance in all of these games is pretty gnarly as far as status effects go.
Let's do a little bit of that. What do we got here? Okay, good. Got a stagger. Ah, dang. Didn't follow up. See how many frames do you think that startup on that freaking attack was?
I don't know how many frames there could have been on there, but Discord certainly didn't feel like showing me too many of them.
It didn't show you, yeah. Okay.
Like, in fact, I only noticed that there were 2 attacks in there because I heard the sound.
You heard the sound, yeah. Okay, let's get rid of these guys while we can, so we can back up that way.
Yes, I'm seeing more and more of what you were saying about the traps that... Oh. Someone thinks he's in Resident Evil.
Yep. Dog, get over here. Bonk. Okay, pet the dog. Okay, it's just, if you could just kind of try not to... There we go. Okay. wait for it. Wait, come on. Let me through. Okay. I got
All
a
right,
picture.
whatever.
it's fine. Treasure. Workshop Union Standard Insulation Converter. Okay. Another piece of armor. Weighs 3 pounds. Has electric blitz resistance. So, yeah, electric resistance. Sure.
I'm sure you'll encounter something that'll be very handy for.
I mean, the shock puddles here, but because I really, really want those iframes, I'm going to continue to irresponsibly go towards light roll only.
Who is it? Is that you, Murphy?
It is not Murphy, sorry.
I guess not.
Thought you were my friend
Murphy's
Murphy.
a super cool police officer. As a
Puppet, even the petrification can't get
I
him.
wish I was like him. If only we could play together like Murphy.
I wonder if there's anything else you can do. I went through because when I went through here before, it seemed like there would be a follow-up to this after you meet Murphy.
Mm-hmm. Meet
But-
Murphy.
Yes, I would say meet, but you know what kind of verbs you actually interact with things in these kinds of games. But
Mm-hmm. Oh, I assume that everyone involved in this is a Father Gascoigne or a piece of the One Reborn kind of story.
No, that's kind of fair. The lore on Murphy's kind of cool, only because said that it was like a cop puppet that after all of the other puppets went on their frenzy, continued to protect the children only. And it was like there was still plenty of murdering, but then like was just like, but not the kids. It's like, okay.
All right. Well, at first I was kind of wondering. It's like, is that supposed to be a RoboCop reference there? Or?
It's it could be.
I mean, it's kind.
I mean, it probably is.
You can make an argument. I wouldn't fight against it, but.
The Purge puppets. This is kind of just an amusing bit of lore. In pre-release, it said APAP instead of Purge puppets. Or APAB, and then the director is like,
maybe we shouldn't step into this.
Nose. We don't need to go that way. This is it's a bleak story with class struggles in it, and the first area here is full of extremely violent cops. But it's like, yeah, that's not really the kind of it's not really a game with social commentary. So yeah, I understand. That's not. It seems like it would take me out of it if it were trying to go that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why that was perhaps changed.
Yeah. They'll leave that for David Cage to do in his next game. That'll be heavy-handed to the point of causing a nosebleed.
Yeah, you're gonna need a lot of capacity in order to raise your hands back up. It's so heavy.
I'm here for the old man. Get lost.
It's a mad donkey.
I know you. Or more like,
I know
what
what you are.
The devil's puppet.
Oh no.
You can't sneak past me.
This is the
Ooh.
human being.
I'm
He has a
liking
health
your
bar.
weapon there.
Oh boy. Alright, go with heels off. How do you think you best handle a human being opponent in this kind of game?
Well, my first instinct would be treat them like everything else, parry, and then bludgeon them to death.
Well,
Oh, he has a multi-stage red attack. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Listen, puppet. Back again.
This is what I want. I want you to show me your back. You might be noticing I'm having some issues getting the stupid backstabs here.
Mm-hmm.
There we
It
go.
does seem to have kind of a classic sort of problem.
Okay, at least this one doesn't have
Oh,
him
he
running
doesn't
across the
chase you.
entire screen. Yeah, so that's nice. I just want him to do his overheads and then chain backstab him. It's really what I want to do. It's kind of, yeah.
Cursed puppet! Back again?
Yeah, there we go. You can get some cheeky hits when he's coming up.
Yeah. Whoop. I mean, if you're going to be a human-sized Souls enemy, you can't just have a giant weapon that you swing. Leaves you super open.
I'll kill you both, then string you up on the bridge.
Boop.
Whoop.
Yeah, you want to do an overhead again? Okay, fair enough. You want to do your red attack again? No?
Apparently not.
He screwed up.
Now I feel bad for my comrade.
There's a sentence.
Yeah. Okay, it was learning how to suffer like G did.
Finally, we meet, son. It's a dream come true.
Seeing you murder that man so
I am
brutally.
so happy.
Some people despise me. I invented the puppets
Invented
after
puppets.
all.
Take
but in order for
responsibility.
me to do that,
You need to
I
take care of the puppets at
you
City
help
Hall.
me, son.
When he says, I need to take care of the puppets, he means I'm going to send my son on a murder spree.
Yeah.
Alright, got a bunch of stuff. Okay, including, yes, now the ability to actually replace handles.
The
and
weapon
whatnot.
handles.
We also have new costume. I guess also technically we got the mask, but I'd rather see
Makes
cute
you-
Timothy Chalamet than the Mad Donkey mask. But you know, I'm glad that
Yeah,
this
it kind of
option.
makes you look like an ass.
That's yeah. See what you did there. Proof. Okay. Okay. Clap, clap, clap. Okay. You found Geppetto.
Use the Stalker's key.
good
The
time.
boat will catch up at hotel.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good stopping point. That's not the whole. That wasn't the. I guess that's not like the real boss. Like I said, we did a few mini bosses, and that's like the
Mid-boss.
elevated mini boss, where it definitely had a health bar, so that counts. But it didn't have. You know, it wasn't a. It didn't have the extremely dramatic intro cinematic where you're like, ah, yes, okay. They did see the intro cinematic to the gargoyle fight in Dark Souls 1. Okay.
It's
I was
always up
confused
to
if
the
they
hunter
had-
to clean the shop.
Yeah, there's beasts all over the shop. And you'll be one too. Soon. I do see a little bonfire over there. Just kind of a little stargaze. Gaze my stars. I think this might work as a
I think that's as close to a
little
vista as you're going to
yeah,
get.
A Vista's for sure. I may maybe do the bridge. I think it's good like
Complete with the guy strung up.
well, you know, it's part of the it's part of the charm of the city. You know, just the animal corpses and the strung up puppets and
The freshly
beautiful
murdered
tram
human
station
man.
overhead. the freshly murdered animal, freshly murdered puppet, freshly murdered human. You know, there's a certain equality to it for sure. If you enjoyed the equality of murder that has been present here today, perhaps consider supporting us on Patreon. You can also help us by doing the YouTube stuff, liking, commenting, subscribing, engaging the algorithm, and so forth. Do enjoy making these videos for you, and that does help us do it. This has been Lies of P.
Lie or die. Though you didn't do any
actual talking or lying, so I don't know why that's an option.